I remember when we was on our honeymoon. You know, you build bonds with people. Some people be best friends in that time, whatever. So so I remember me and my wife, we had one girl there or whatever. She actually works on the resort or whatever, and she was dealing with some bullshit with the boss there, whatever. So she was younger and she was like, yeah, I don't know, I think I might get fired. And it was like some shit happened, whatever. And I was like, shit be like that sometimes. Like, he was like, yo, like, but my point is like, eventually how my life has gone, and I see other people's life how other people's lives have gone. On the other side, some fucked up shit, especially like some shit that you didn't really deserve it. Yeah. Some good shit happens. Yeah. So it's like, you know, this may be just a down season. It may be fucked up, whatever. You may feel bad, but more times, especially jobs, yo, when some job shit happen, 9.5 times out of 10, the next situation is better off. Like, it just always happen like that for whatever reason. Like, so to your point, like, in real time, being so frustrated by certain things, you know, we've been through things together about situations. It's like, like we can find positivity in that, whatever. Like, so whether it's job, passions, personal, love, relationships, you flip your perspective on it. You go on,
change the way you look at things. The things that you look at change. It's immediate. Like literally, like life is all about perspective. Like you could see yourself as a victim, or you could see yourself as a survivor, and depending on what story you tell yourself, yeah, true that. Depending on the story you tell yourself, it's going to determine the way you approach new situations. It's going to determine the way your confidence. It's going to determine your self-worth. See, because if you feel like life always happened to you and not for you, you're going to always look at life like, damn, why me? But it's like once you start to kind of flip it and be like, you know what? I went through this because it had to shape who I am, then it makes it more of a pleasant story. And nobody wants to be the fucking victim in a story, but everybody accepts the role of being the victim in a story. Most people want to be the hero. So why not just make yourself the survivor? Because if you're watching this, then everything you ever went through, you overcame, which means you undefeated. So yeah, you might have had some shit that took 12 rounds to overcome. Yeah, you might have had some shit that felt like it knocked you the fuck out and you had to go at it again. But the fact of the matter is, when you overcame it, you realize that you survived it and you're still undefeated because you're still here to watch and fucking witness your own growth and development through the shit that you went through. But if you live in that moment of what that was and you think that that's the story, then that's why you're not going to succeed beyond that, because to you, the climax of it was the shit that happened to you, when the climax really was supposed to be the plot twist, what you did with it. And, you know, the moment you start twisting these plots, that's when shit started to come together.
Yeah, I like to hear you. I know you mentioned cheating thing, but I like to hear if you have like another example. Cause I know what Mom said before on the pod, but like, you know, when I was first kind of went to my career change, whatever, and was feeling kind of cocky, whatever, and then I had lost a job abruptly, and I was like, I ain't sure I'm about to get another job, but the rack up, and then it went 6 months without a job, and I had a baby, and I was, you know, my girl at the time wasn't working, and I was like, wait, like, this wasn't supposed to happen this way. Wait a minute, and in real time, mind you, you know, in real time, I still wasn't really tripping person. I wasn't like down this, and I was just like, it was just taken aback. Oh damn, I didn't see this happen, whatever. But by the time and then even the next job I eventually got after 6 months, it wasn't as much as I was making, this and that, whatever. But for whatever reason, I'm just like, nah, I'm about to get that back and more. And by saying to say, when I look back at that time, I understand like the persistence and diligence and steadfast in that time that was like built up. Yeah. It sustained, like it carried over. Like, no, now I'm just mentally prepared for any type of obstacles or a down season since then. And I understood that's what the benefit of that time was.
Yeah, and to your point, I think something as simple as we went through not too long ago when we was going into the home care space. And it was like I had set my sights on things going a specific type of way, and you know, the deals being done a certain way and being compensated accordingly. Stake my whole fucking family on this shit, because I stopped taking clients marketing wise at that time to focus primarily on that. Put all of my energy into it. Literally was like super duper invested. And when it went alternatively than how I anticipated, I had no choice but to sit down and say, well, what could I gain from this, right? All right, cool, I gained a new skill. All right, cool, I gained knowledge on the industry that I really didn't know about. All right, cool, I developed a passion for something in a way that I haven't been passionate about something in a long time. All right, cool, I can freely do what I want without having to have so much pushback at every fucking conversation for every decision that need to be made. All right, cool. I understand the inner workings of how this shit go in operations, and I can either A, offer this to other people, or B, do it within my own fucking company and my own agency and do it my way. So yeah, like it was one of the things where I could have been like, damn, I put all this time, energy. Damn, I brought all these people over. Damn, I missed all. I had put all this energy into this money, whatever. And this ended like that. I was like, you know what? yeah, I did all that, but look what I get to leave with.
Mhm.
And I think like I look at that shit like how I would look at, you know, any type of breakup.
Leaving here with something.
Yeah, like I look at it like I feel like you could look at a breakup the same way. I could look at my breakup the same way. Like all of the shit I invested, all of the energy I put into it, the intentionality I had, you know, how locked in I was, the focus I put into it, the plans I had for the future, and be like, damn, I did all that, and it was, or I could just be like, that prepped me for my next situation, because I felt like, yo, the man I became after that. I don't see, for me, I don't give a fuck what somebody else like leaves a relationship with. I literally care about like what I could reflect on. And it's like none of my reflect. I could easily point out a million and one things that any one of my fucking my relationships have ever did to me, like, and be like, this shit is facts. Like this ain't no fucking delusional made up. This shit is what it is. And feel like, yeah, but for what? I could just literally look at all the shit I need to do better. And I always choose that. I'd be like, I don't even care to think about it. I don't care to discuss. When I reflect, my reflections don't include what they could have did. My reflections only include what I could have did. And if it's relative to what they could have did, then that's the only time it include them. But without it being that, it's just me looking at myself like, what should I have done differently, or what could I have done better, and what will I do better moving forward? And having that as my perspective based on that prompt of me kind of looking at the bright side of everything, it allows for me to move gracefully through every situation without holding or harvesting or harboring any fucking alternative emotions, whether it be negative, disdain, hate, this, that, and the third. Because at the end of the day, I realized like I'm always going to benefit behind this shit, whether it go the way I wanted to or it go a different way. In the end, it's going to be some type of benefit for me. In the end, it's going to be a win. And people don't think of it like that. People look at it like, oh, it didn't go the distance, so it was a waste, or you know, fuck you because of all the shit you did. But it's like never taking one fucking minute to talk about themselves and what they could have did. And I look at it like if you're the victim in every fucking story, something not right. Because it's like, for me, I don't even want to hear the victim. I don't even want to hear what was done to you. I only want to hear what you could have did differently, what you could have did better, because it's so easy for somebody to leave a relationship like, yeah, because this happened to me and they never was texting back on time and they never did this. They're just like, all right, cool. I get that. But, you know, tell me more about what you felt like you could have did better. What do you feel like the areas you would like to improve as a partner? What would you do moving forward? And it's like, I never really thought about this. So what the fuck are we talking about? You obviously not doing the work. Doing the work is not just fucking venting and putting on the table what was done to you. Doing the work is being able to identify what you could do differently if put in the same predicament. And that's when you know you've truly done the work. And that's how I be knowing my growth. Because it's like, if your fucking accountability includes we instead of just me, then that means you're not really taking accountability. You're looking to create community and try to just sever some of the blow. You don't want to take the full impact of what you did. So you want to, you know what I'm saying? You know, we notice this a lot. I got a thing where I say women, you always know who broke up with who based on how they say it, right? And you always know who the problem was based on how they deliver it. So this is one of the things that y'all can identify. And the women always laugh when I do this because they know it's fucking true. So the fact of the matter is, when it comes down to a breakup, if they left, they 100% gonna say, yeah, I had to leave. I left, you know, it was damaging my mental. If they got left, they're gonna say, we broke up. We decided it was best for us to do our own thing. It becomes we. Same thing when it comes down to a problem. If a nigga fucked up, if a man fucked up, they're gonna make it clear. He was doing this, he wasn't doing that, he wasn't. But if it's any type of identifier that it could have been them, like that had anything to do with the problem, they're going to say, yeah, we both had things we had to work on. We both should have been doing more of this. The moment they start saying we, I know it was just you, because women don't include themselves in shit. That if it's just you, even if it was both of y'all, but it was something that they could pin on you, they're not about to mention what they did. So the fact that they mentioned it was we off the rip.
It's only her.
You don't volunteer we. Like, they don't just volunteer we. They not just speaking French. We. No. That's when you know, yeah, it was only her. So that's one of the things that I'm able to do to identify. Like, all right, if I'm ever listening, you know, especially having I'm a certified relationship coach. I hear this shit all the time. I'm just listening. It's like, all right, cool. Like, all right, yeah, so how, oh yeah, we felt like, all right, he broke up with her. And we both had, okay, she was the problem. Like, and it's like, well, what about if it was she just taking accountability?
He was a victim, actually. Like,
what about if she just taking accountability and it's not that, and that's not the case? I'll bet I'll take the over on that every time. Like, it's one of them situations where it's like, if it's 9 times out of 10 and you just the exception to the rule, then big shout out to you. But the rule itself will show you in more times than not that whenever they saying we, is really them. Because they not about to voluntarily incorporate themselves. You ain't never seen a nigga be wrong and like, yeah, well, he cheated on me, but we both had things to fix.